Hi, we're going to be talking about paralysis caused by spinal cord injuries and current research being done into treatment with the long-term goal of being able to allow previously paralyzed individuals to walk again. Paralysis due to spinal injury is a large problem with 40,000 people living with paraplegia in the UK alone and 1,200 becoming paralyzed each year. However, it is not only the patients that are affected. Paralysis has a huge impact on the individual and their family, making basic household tasks such as cooking and bathing difficult if not impossible to achieve independently. This can be a huge emotional and physical burden for the individuals and their families, which is why approximately 25% of them suffer with depression. There is also a large burden on the state with an annual cost of £500 million to the National Health Service. Clearly, this is a huge problem which needs to be solved. Before we get into how the epidural implant will work, let's take a look at how the spinal cord works with the brain in order to run our nervous system. The spinal cord itself is an approximately 18-inch long tube-shaped bundle of nerves that runs down our back. Information from the brain is sent in the form of electrical pulses which travel down the spinal cord to the specific part of the body where they were meant for. That part of the body in turn sends information back up to the brain via the spinal cord. This is why the spinal cord plays a crucial role in the coordination between the brain and the body. When the backbone is injured in some sort of accident, it shatters and the sharp edges of the shattered bone puncture the spinal cord. This results in a break in the communication between the brain and the part of the body that corresponds to the place where the spinal cord was injured. Due to this break in communication, the person loses all sense of feeling and control over their body below the break in the cord. Over the years, doctors and researchers have come up with some different solutions to help patients with spinal cord injury. These range from electric wheelchairs that can climb stairs to voice-operated computer-based gadgets that assist the patient with daily tasks. However, none of these solutions are actual solutions. They do not even attempt to solve or cure paralysis, rather they just try to help the patient as he or she is. Recent research is helping to move towards a true cure for paralysis using a technique known as epidural stimulation. A small device which measures about 50 millimeters by 50 millimeters is implanted into the back of the patient, with wires running to a number of electrodes connected to the nerves in the spinal cord after the break. The device is connected to an external control unit using induction, the same technology used for wireless charging. This provides power and instructions to the implant. The control unit is then able to send messages to the implant, which in turn sends electronics pulses of a few picoamperes to the spinal cord. By varying the magnitude and frequency and pattern of these pulses, it is possible to control muscles attached to the nerves. Although this technology is promising, we aren't quite there yet. This is because of a few reasons. Firstly, we do not understand the nature of the patterns sent by the brain to control movements. But once we do, we'll be able to replicate these patterns, allowing the device to cause the user to walk. Secondly, the device is currently only able to send commands to the limbs, and it is not able to detect signals from the brain. This means that some sort of manual input will be required to control walking until a complete closed-loop system can be developed. A closed-loop system would require no external input, and it would simply respond to the user's intent. Furthermore, while these technologies are showing some promise in animal tests, they have not yet been used on humans because of other issues which will need to be overcome. They include limiting the heat release by the device into the body and making sure the device will be able to last a lifetime in the body. This would require a battery that can be charged wirelessly and hardware that can withstand body fluids and temperature. Even after all these challenges are overcome, it could take up to a decade before the device receives approval to be used on humans. As you can see, we are at a very exciting point in the research where a solution which could have a profound impact on the patient's lives is in sight, removing the huge impediment to an enjoyable life that is paraplegia. Such a breakthrough will be a great leap forward for medical science, paving the way for further biomechanical breakthroughs. While we're not quite there yet, we're very close, and the incentive of lower healthcare costs and better quality of life will hopefully mean governments make the process of bringing the product to the market as easy as possible. Thanks for watching.